Everybody charge up. Greetings, fans, and welcome again to the massive hit cricket show. How you guys doing? How you guys doing? I'm pretty sure that everyone. I'm sure you're all doing well. I'm sure, just like me, you guys are cock a hoop and very, very, very happy for the win. Second win in succession for West Indies today. Beat England by 30 runs. What a night at the Wankhede Stadium. West Indies now 2 for 2 in this World Cup and primed for advancement to the Super 8. This match had everything. This match had early collapse, spin domination, insane feeling by the West Indies, which is something that we have been asking for. Improved fielding performances. The West Indies today had to defend a bit of a par score, that was at 196. But the West Indies bowled brilliantly, fielded well. Didn't get the best of starts there. Jason Holder obviously bowled that first over, and Jason was essentially taken to the cleaners. 20 odd runs came off that over. I think one delivery didn't go to the boundary. So the West Indies really, really did well to really pull that one back. And this was a really, really outstanding display. What does this mean for the rest of the tournament for the men in maroon? First of all, also want to shout out and big up everyone who was able to join the live watch along. We had a live watch along of this game. Also want to big up my brethren Andrew Mason, who we collaborated to bring that coverage to you. Andrew Mason doing this radio style commentary, a legend really of Caribbean commentary, and that was really, really good. I know people enjoyed the coverage. People were saying radio coverage is so refreshing, and Andrew is on a bit of a for some reason people are not really focusing on radio anymore and radio commentary anymore. And I remember back in the days, we all used to watch the cricket and turn our radios on. So it was definitely refreshing to hear Andrew Mason here streaming through the airways. We'll definitely come and take some comments in a bit. But West Indies started off shakily. West Indies were in deep trouble, losing both Shea Hope and Brandon King within the first 7 balls. Shea Hope got out in the first over for a duck. Brandon King got out first ball of the second over. And the West Indies could have really gone into their shell here, right? Having lost those 2 wickets. But Roston Chase came in. He joined Shimron Hetmeyer, who looks in amazing form, by the way. Shimron Hetmeyer just looks like a man possessed the way he's batting. For Shimron, it's not just about him making runs. It's really about the clarity that he's showing when he's batting, right? It looks as if he knows exactly what he wants to do, and that really, really argues well for West Indies. Shimron, let me just jump through the scorecard here. Shimron made 23, Chase 34 from 29, Rutherford 76 from 42, Powell 14, and Jason Holder there at the end 33. Now, after Shimron really kind of gave the West Indies the early impetus, and again, I spoke about the way he's been going, but Rodman Powell was the man today. Sheriff Rutherford was the man today. Rutherford really, again, showed clarity, showed that form that he's been showing in SA20 now for a little while. 72 from 42 deliveries, including 7 sixes. Just really dragging the West Indies from what was looking to be sort of chaotic earlier on and getting to a competitive total. And crucially along the way, build partnerships with Roston Chase. But Roston Chase, someone who has been criticized a lot in West Indies cricket, but Chase, for me, in these conditions, and in any conditions really, his bowling is really very, very, very important to this team. Yes, we know Chase is sort of a floating batsman where the West Indies team is concerned. He doesn't necessarily bat, or he doesn't necessarily have to bat every game. Today it was very necessary because the West Indies lost early wickets. So that's where Chase's batting would have really come to the fore. But under normal circumstances, Roston Chase He's someone who, probably if the West Indies gets a fairly good start, probably won't bat, but his bowling very, very, very important. Um, so 6-1 partnership with Jason Holder, um, 51 partnership with Rahman Powell. Holder there at the end, very, very important knock. Not to be underestimated. Holder 33 from 17 deliveries with some really, really timely hits there from Jason Holder, as the Westerns were able to push to a total of 196. Now, at the halfway mark, many would have said, "Do we have enough? Do we have enough?" At the 1KD, that's perhaps what you call a par score. But Ian Bishop was on the sidelines, and he was essentially laying on the grass out there and sort of getting a feel for the dew conditions. We know at the 1KD, dew is normally a huge factor, but it wasn't that wet tonight. Um, and dew perhaps was not going to come into play as much as it would previously. And the West Indies, knew that what they had to do was come out and bowl well. If they came out and bowled well, and importantly, not just bowl well, but take the catches. That is crucial. And we keep talking about this. For this tournament, the team is going to have to take those catches. They're going to have to be brilliant in the field. They're going to have to do those one percenters right. The thing is this, for the West Indies, this is not a team that can afford to not do the basics right, because we know we don't have the strongest bowling attack out there. And if you don't have the strongest bowling attack out there, you have to compensate somewhere. And you know, that's one of the things I spoke about in my preview show. Chase being perhaps the West Indies' best fielder, and he showed it tonight. Took some brilliant catches there. None more so than the one he took to end the game. And again, showed his importance with the ball. By the way, he came in for Matthew Ford. Now, one thing, massive hit, the massive hit cricket show, we had predicted, we got our prediction wrong for this game, because we had predicted that the West Indies would bat first and would win by between 10 to 15 runs. Well, the West Indies did much better than that. The West Indies won by 30 runs. So very, very positive, and I am happy to be wrong when the West Indies wins a game even more convincingly than I had predicted. Again, as I mentioned at the top of the show, hopefully, some of you, I know a lot of you guys would have joined us for the watch along this morning. We had a very good time there in the watch along. I think a lot of people commented on how much they enjoyed the coverage, the collab between myself and regional commentator Andrew Mason, who is looking to really promote radio commentary. Radio commentary seem to have fallen. People seem to not necessarily believe in the importance of radio commentary anymore. Everyone is just glued to the television. So it was really refreshing to hear Andrew Mason and crew this morning describe the action in great detail. And I, for one, thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, my TV was turned down, and I was obviously, on the watch along, following Mason and his crew. I'm going to get to some of your comments soon, but West Indies beat England via spin. It was, in my opinion, what you would call a spin choke. Gudakesh Motie, how good was he? 3 for 33, Roston Chase, 2 for 29. Again, Roston Chase has long been one of the most, or perhaps our most economical bowler, and he proved it again today. Akil saying key wickets, pressure overs, bowling 3 overs in the power play, like we have called for. We've called for minimum 2 overs from Akil in the power play, and of course, we do know that Akil is versatile enough to come back in the middle overs and still do a job when required. And he did that there at the end. But I want to spend a little bit of time to talk about Gudakesh Motie and the job he did. We have long spoken about Motie being the best all-format spinner for the West Indies and his importance to this team, and the clarity that he must have in his mind when he steps on the field of play, and how much of a huge job it is for Darren Sammy, Shea Hope, the rest of the coaching staff, and the people responsible really to make sure that Gudakesh Motie is in the right mind frame, because his role as a wicket taker is supremely important for this West Indies team. And we must give, listen, we give Darren Sammy um, his licks when deserved. He gets his fair amount of cussing, but we must also give these guys credit and congratulate them when they do well. Congratulations to Darren Sammy. Congratulations to the West Indies team. Congratulations to Gudakesh Motie, who has quietly gone away, worked on his game, introduced more aspects to his game. So when he's under pressure and he only has that one delivery that is turning into the left-handers, he now has another option because he's now been bowling that Chinaman delivery. And yes, it's not 100%. Yes, he made a few mistakes today. He didn't always get it right, right? He dragged a couple down, bowled a couple of full tosses. I think one was hit for a massive six by Jacob Bethel. But all in all, I think he has really gone away and done what's required, and he's now come back. What I would say, a better performer, ripped through the middle order, really killed the chase for England. I mean, he got the important wickets of Jacob Bethel, who looked very good, Tom Banton, and also Harry Brooks. All of these in quick succession. Chase, remove Butler, and also remove Will Jacks at the end there, who Will Jacks is a very, very dangerous player. And from that start that England got, I mean, they got a better power play start than the West Indies did. England really got off to quite a bit of a flyer, and at one, but those mid overs was where the West Indies controlled the game. And in previous tournaments, previous series, that's been one of the weaker aspects of the West Indies game. They've not been able to take wickets regularly in those middle overs, and teams have been allowed to get away. And I think now with Gudakesh Motie's return to form, with Chase doing what he's doing, and with Akil Hussain showing his versatility, bowling at the top and being able to come back in the middle, this really argues well for this team going forward, because that's going to be key, especially without the likes of Alzar Joseph, who is very, very, very important to this West Indies attack. But the team, if they can field like this, the way Robman Powell he fielded, you saw his boundary catch to remove Jamie Overton, where he was going over the boundary and threw that ball back in and did that whole sort of juggling act. That has now become a normal thing in modern day international cricket. Jason Holder, direct run out. I mean, the West Indies of Josh Duffer Archer there. And listen, while the West Indies might have already gotten rid of the Butlers, the Harry Brooks, the Bethels, and these sort of um, huge names in cricket, with Sam Curran Veer at the end and people like Archer and Dawson, these guys are actually very, very good batsmen in their own right. So you don't want to take anything for granted, right? Those guys can definitely come back and win that game. So I think for the West Indies, it was very important that they really um, executed well, concentrated on every delivery, concentrated on every over, and not think we're ahead of the game, so we're going to win easily. So that was very, very important there. Um, at the end there, Adil Rashid chipped a low full toss out to Roston Chase, who dived and sealed the win for the West Indies. So there was no debate as far as who the man of the match was. Obviously, Sheriff Rutherford taking the team from a really precarious position at the start there, 76 or 42 runs, and really helping the West Indies to recover. And that really changed the entire narrative of the game, right? So, very, very important there. Again, guys, uh, go ahead and like the video. Go ahead and like the stream. Share the stream with your friends, and hopefully again, a lot of you would have enjoyed our coverage this morning. We're also going to do another watch along this weekend when the West Indies take on Nepal, and the team should be feeling very, very, very confident. I think a lot of people Some folks in our massive WhatsApp group was saying earlier, the West Indies, we're confident the West Indies is going to beat England, but watch the West Indies team lose to someone like a Nepal. That is very on brand for this West Indies team, but I don't see it happening. I think the West Indies, with the level of confidence that they have right now, after beating England, after beating Scotland, I think the West Indies will be primed to take Nepal. Now, this wicket would have taken a bit of spin, as we would have noticed, and we're playing. I'm pretty sure. Let me just double check, but I'm pretty sure that um, we play Nepal here at the Wankhede. I think this is where that game is going to be. Let me just double check to see where we're going to play Nepal on Saturday. Let's just double check this. Let's double check this. All right. So on Saturday, the West Indies will play Nepal again at the Wankhede Stadium. Now, let's I'm going to take a couple of comments. Yes, Wesley, I agree. Bowling definitely is going to be key for the West Indies throughout this tournament. Bowling and fielding, Wesley, do not leave out the fielding. The fielding is very, very important. Now, before I jump to more of your comments, in our World Cup action, Australia had a pretty straightforward win over Ireland. Australia got 182 for 6, and Ireland were bowled out for 115. So Australia they're winning comfortably by what is that 60 67 runs. Stoinis got 45, English got 37, Renshaw 37, Ireland 115, with Dockrell getting 41. Ellis and Zampa were the ones who took the wickets. But the exciting game of the day, not the biggest game of the day, because the biggest game would have obviously been West Indies and England, but Afghanistan, South Africa, that was a treat. 186 South Africa made, with Decott getting 59, Rickleton getting 61. In reply, Afghanistan tied the score. Romanullah Gurbaz 84, and it was 187. This game saw two super overs, and in the end, South Africa came to the fore. But Tagisa Rabada obviously taken to the cleaners. They bowled a couple of no balls and brought Afghanistan back into the game. He tried his best to lose that game, um, but extremely exciting encounter there, between Afghanistan and South Africa. So South Africa, they're obviously primed to go to the next round. They're in a similar position to the West Indies. Afghanistan in a bit of trouble. One of the dark horses, I probably want to call him for this tournament. Afghanistan would have been the semi-finalists in the previous tournament, and very, very disappointing, because I think I haven't done the math as yet, but I think having lost those two games to New Zealand and South Africa, they're probably all but out of the tournament. So that's that as far as that game is concerned. But now back to the West Indies and back to some of your comments. Um, what does this mean for the tournament? I mean, the West Indies now look a very, very dangerous side. The West Indies batsmen they have been in decent form coming into this tournament, and they have continued that form, in the games that they've played so far. We have seen Rutherford hit his stride. We have seen Powell do pretty well. We have seen Hetmeyer hit his stride. We now just need to get the likes of Shea Hope and Rovman Powell going. Even Jason Holder today showed a lot of form. And what's very, very encouraging for this West Indies team would have been the fielding display that we would have seen today. And make no mistake about it, Rutherford would have brought the West Indies back into the game, and it's very, very impressive what the West Indies did, especially with the start, that collapse at the start. Because usually with the West Indies team, if there's a collapse, what you'll usually find is the team will lay down, right? They'll lose 3 to 4 wickets in clusters, which is something you never want to see in any game of cricket, really, because that's where the game is won or lost. So, recovering from that effort to get a competitive score, but most importantly, the West Indies won this game with the ball and in the field, right? Because that was a par score. And the danger for this West Indies team was always not if we're going to bat well, can we defend any score? And that we did. So, Banty Williams, great to have you as always. Wesley, Salim, let's see who else is here. Heyman, uh, Garvey, Brian, Anton. Nice to have you guys. All right, congrats to Darren Sammy and the boys. Yes, Vanti, very important that people give Darren Sammy and the West Indies team their flowers when they do well. The team has done very well. Ross and Chase, very good match. How do we address what's happening at the top? I think we have to back them, Vanti. Even if you look at Jason Holder today, a bad first over, he was brought back as an experienced player who the expectation is that Jason is someone who can do the job for us at the end there. Jason Holder was brought back at the end and he did the job, right? You have to trust these players. So I mean the opening batsmen are Shea Hope and Brandon King, right? We don't have better batsmen than those. Shea Hope is our best batsman overall. So you back them, you trust them, and I'm sure they'll come good. I'm pretty sure they'll come good. I Shea Hope for me, once facing a bowler like Archer, I always kind of knew he would be a little bit on edge because Archer has that extra pace, so you just never know. He could easily make a mistake. Um, but that's just one of those things. But I think we trust them. I think we trust them, and they will definitely come through. Salim, yes, great win. You fell for 24 hours that we could defend a total of 180 to 200. You mentioned this on another platform. Absolutely, the West Indies did it. And kudos must be given to the bowlers. Guys, if you haven't yet, go ahead and like the video. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. I do have the comments in subscribe mode only for the watch alongs. So if when we get on the watch along, if you're not a subscriber, you won't be able to comment. All right. And also, if you love this merch, if you love this beautiful massive hit merch that we have here, there's a QR code. That is where you can grab this merch. It's www.massivehitcricket.com. You can hit the QR code. I can also just run this across the screen. So you can get your massive hit merch. Really beautiful stuff. We have the hoodies. We have these beautiful shirts. We have the massive hit caps. Where is it? Yeah, so if you want to be a part of the massive hit movement, definitely head out there and grab your merch. Really outstanding stuff. High quality material, high quality stuff. Stuff that you could wear anywhere. So yeah, go ahead and grab your merch. All right, so let's jump back to some of your comments here. How can I listen the watch along? Uh, I will. I can post a watch along in the description here. All right, let me go ahead and find the watch along. I will go ahead and post it in the description so you have it. Give me just a quick second here. All right, let's grab this. All right, so here's a watch along. Let me go ahead and grab this. All right, so in the description of this video, let me just where is it? All right, so we're right here. I'm gonna drop the link in the comments, and I'm gonna go ahead and pin that message. And if you want to see the watch along, let me also Okay. All right. Also in the video description, all right? So watch along West Indies, West Indies v England. All right. I also just dropped the link to the watch along for your Heyman. All right. So Heyman, you can go to check out the watch along. Look in the description and you can grab it. All right. King cannot bat and hope is not a captain. He's a master of losing tosses. uh, Arisvan, Hope is definitely the master of losing tosses. He does not win a lot of tosses. That is true. I give it that. But to say King cannot bat, I cannot agree with you here. I mean, King's a very good player, and King's been playing very, very well. I mean, these guys are going to be the openers. Trinidad and Tobago, welcome, Salim. Big respect for coming out here and supporting the platform. Massive with cricket, your place for all the World Cup action. We will be here throughout this World Cup. We'll bring you all the exciting action. We'll bring you these watch alongs. It should be a very, very exciting World Cup, and hopefully the West Indies can go very far. I have to take a look at the West Indies. Obviously one of the favorites now to get through to the next round, but I have to take a look. I'm pretty sure the West Indies, the teams that go through to the second round at the very minimum will take the points through with them to the next round from the teams that advance with them. So let's say the West Indies and England goes through to the next round. I'm pretty sure the West Indies will at least take the 2 points from the England game. I am not sure if you take points from all your wins. I don't believe so, but I'm going to double check. And if there's anyone in the comments who knows what that rule is for this tournament, definitely hop in the comments and let me know. Yes, Vante, King and Hope, they are putting the team under a bit of pressure today. Early wickets, last game, too slow. So yes, it's an issue that needs to be addressed and hopefully can be addressed. Moses, you don't like the idea of Hope opening. Vante also says the same thing. Well, I mean, Hope could only, I would say, if he's not going to open, maybe number three would be where he's going to bat. But who's going to open? Are you going to send Shriman Hetmeyer up to open? Hop in the comments. Let me know. Let me know what you're thinking. If that's where you're looking to go. I think based on the construct of this team, Hope has to open. I mean, the only other option is moving up Shimron, and I don't know if you want to change what Shimron is doing right now. I mean, he's been doing very well at number three, so I would stick to what the West Indies have. Thank you, Anton. Respect. I'm glad you're enjoying the platform, and we strive to bring you everything cricket. As you know, we're West Indian cricket fans, and the maroon is running through our veins, right? It's always about rallying, no matter how much we might cuss, in the Caribbean, when the team doesn't do well or when something happens. We all want the West Indies to do well. We're all happy when the team does well, and it's all about the West Indies. It's 100% West Indies. And again, we said it before. We might not agree with all the decisions that are made, but once those 11 players are on the field, once those 15 players are over there in the World Cup, we support all the players, right? We want everyone to do well. There's no player that we would not want to do well, because when the players do well, it means the team is going to do well. Lorenzo here. Guy, don't blame King and Hope too much. It can happen. It can definitely happen for sure. I mean, I don't think Brandon King, the way he got out, I mean, he pretty much stretched for delivery and just couldn't control it. And it went down to, that, what is that, deep point, third man era, right? He was definitely trying to go towards cover for sure. But he just in the middle. It Hope hit this ball in the air. I mean, it could happen, but I do think the extra pace of Archer might have caused that, in terms of the way. Arshan is wondering, how can Romari Shepherd bowl 4 overs for, what was it, 30 runs, get a hat trick, and only bowl 1 over this game? It's the name of the game, Arshan. It's one of those things. I mean, spin dominated today. All the spinners bowl four, so that's 12 overs of spin. Then you have Shamar, Holder, and Romario, where you're gonna get the rest of the 8 overs from these guys. At the end there, I think Shea made the right call, going back to his experienced guy in Holder. I know a lot of people may disagree and say, well, Holder wasn't having a great day because he went for 20 out in the first game. He was taken to the cleaners by Salt. Yes, that is true, but I don't have any problem with it, right? I think Holder is someone who is experienced enough and who has done this time and time again. He's been very, very good this year on the franchise circuit in particular. Had a good day with the bat. So, you know, anyone can go for runs in one over. So I personally didn't have too much of an issue with Shepard not coming back for our overs. Athena, yes, big up, big up. Yep, we'll definitely keep it going. Yes, Bantif, for all of those who expected Western is to be eliminated, we will absolutely be in the Super 8. For sure, for sure. We will be there. No filter saying the Western is unstoppable. All right. I I hope so. I hope so. Let's see how the team goes once we get into let me not even put this. I don't know what kind of comment is that. Yeah. I mean, guys, when you make certain comments, I think you must be mindful of the things you say. You don't want to go out there and spread, rumors and say things that, especially if you're not knowledgeable about a certain situation. Darren Sammy is the coach, and I think a lot of you might not agree with some of the things he does. I don't agree with everything Darren Sammy does either, but I think he certainly made some errors. But at the end of the day, I don't think he means any of these players, bad. I mean, we spoke earlier about Motie and the fact that Motie was sent away to work on his game, and now he's come back and he is essentially doing well. His confidence looks to be there, and we have to give the coaching staff credit for that. I don't think if Sammy wanted to get rid of Motie, he would have brought him back literally without any performances. He brought him back because he knows that this is someone who we want to be in tip top shape and we want him to be performing. Sometimes that's what they need. Sometimes they need time away from the game. I mean, we have seen Jaden Seals and the way he's been bowling over the last couple of months. Jaden Seals has not been at his best. Jaden Seals looks a shell of the bowler that we know he can be, to be honest, right? And but the truth is, he's someone who has been an outstanding performer throughout his career. And I had some conversations yesterday again within our massive hit WhatsApp group. If you want to become a part of that group, you have to become a member of the channel. Once you're a member, then we will go ahead and add you to that group. But I made a point that Jaden Seals' record. Obviously, he went to New Zealand and he had a poor tour of New Zealand. Didn't do that well against Australia ever. He was okay against Australia, but so his average, his bowling average, has now risen to 25. But previously, before the New Zealand tour, it was 22. And I made a point that if you look at any of the great past West Indian bowlers, up until that stage, after 22 Test matches, Jaden Seals has a record that can that stacks up with any of those guys at that point in his career. I'm not saying Jaden Seals is a great or is going to be a great. He has a long way to go. But after 22 Test matches, his record stacks up favorably against anyone of the greats, really, for the Westerners in the history of the game. So, yeah. Um, yeah, so he's someone, the point I was making about Motor earlier is that he was pulled out of the firing line because he wasn't doing well. He was sent away to work in his game and then brought back. And you look at someone like a Seals, perhaps that's what he needs as well. Just time where he's not playing day in, day out. He's played a lot of cricket, right? So that's probably something he needs. Marlon here, Gart, yes, Rutherford in his interview after the game, in the man of the match interview, said he was going to be okay for game two. So that is big news for all West Indian fans. I mean, we definitely can't afford to lose a Rutherford right now, especially in the form that he's in. Good afternoon. What's up, number for the cricket chat? Become a member, and we can add you to that chat. You could also shoot me an email at Roger Tracy. That's ROGERTRACEY at gmail.com, and I'll give you additional details. All right. All right. Professor, losing the toss today may have worked. Absolutely. I mean, I predicted in my day free wrap up that the West Indies would have batted first, which means I predicted us losing the toss because I'm pretty sure if Shea Hope won the toss, we would have chased, right? Because of the record at the 1 kitty, right? It's a chasing ground normally. But scoreboard pressure is a hell of a thing, and especially in a World Cup. And I certainly prefer the West Indies batting first in this game. My prediction was that the team, West Indies, would have won by about 10 to 15 runs after putting a score on the board. Early or Earl, not sure what we're complaining about. Let's take the win. The openers will peak at the right time. Absolutely. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for the team to peak at the right time. Hey man Khan, I just dropped the link in the description regarding how you can join the watch along. Uh, Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Once I post the watch along, you'll see it come up once your notification is on, and you can just set a reminder. And once I go live, it's gonna you'll see it, right? So that's how you can watch the watch along. So all right, guys, that's it for today. Again, just to recap, the West Indies winning winning their second match against England, winning by 30 runs. And after beating Scotland in the first game, the West Indies 196, with Sheffield Rutherford getting 76 of 42 deliveries. He was the man of the match. Jason Holder also doing well at the bat. Rodman Powell also doing very well at the bat there. And then bowling out England for 166 with Gudakesh Motie getting 3 wickets. Roston Chase also getting 2 wickets. And the West Indies is now in prime position to advance to the Super 8s. And listen, with the points that the West Indies will take through to the Super 8s, the West Indies will also have a very, very good chance going through to the semi-final stage of this World Cup. I'm pretty sure not a lot of people would have, expected um, that, because people would have said, hey, we're probably going to lose to them. We're definitely going to lose to England. But the West Indies have now put themselves in a very, very, very good position. And again, points will be taken to the Super 8s. I know that the teams that you win that advance to the Super 8s with the West Indies, they'll take those points. So if England goes through, they'll take these points from England. I need to double check to see if um, they take points overall from everyone. That I'm not too sure about, but we'll check on that and see. Um, yeah. So by the time we get to the next show, I will have that information handy for you. All right, guys. So again, continue to watch. Go ahead and like the video if you haven't hit the like button as yet. Go ahead and hit that like video. I think we had over 240 people here in the live. Not sure how many likes we have, but hopefully we have at least 200 to 300 likes, because there have been over 200. We have 49 likes. Come on, guys, 49 likes. That's definitely not enough. All right, so go ahead and get those likes up. Again, hopefully, hope you're enjoying the coverage. Hope you're enjoying the live watch alongs. We will be doing a watch along also of the Nepal game. we'll also bring some of those other neutral games. So India, Pakistan, that's a huge one. We're definitely going to be bringing India, Pakistan watch along live. That should be a massive, massive encounter. And just to remind you, in our games today, Australia won over Ireland and South Africa prevailed in a very, very tense finish, double super over finish versus Afghanistan. So the Afghans unfortunately look as if they are out of the World Cup, but that's the way it is. All right, guys. So that's it. You've been watching the massive hit cricket show. And as always, what do? We stay massive. Bye for now.